I'm doing an Ironman beginner guide, and honestly, this is really overwhelming because there's so much to go over on Ironman. And in fact, I'm not going to be able to show you everything within a short amount of time, but I can explain it to you and do my best and do guides in the future on specific topics. So, first of all, I want to say and have this disclaimer that I'm not showing you the most efficient way to play Ironman. I'm showing you the most enjoyable yet efficient way. That's kind of a tongue twister and hard to understand, but basically, if you were going the most efficient route, you would get 70 agility straight off the bat, get your full graceful, and get the quest cape. Boom. Your Ironman has achieved a lot, and you're set to start leveling everything else. But who in the world wants to grind 70 agility right away and get the quest cape? That takes time, a lot of leveling, and is very overwhelming. The last thing I want your Ironman to be is something that's overwhelming to you, a chore, and you don't want to play it. Ironman is to enjoy and to level at your own pace, and for you just to play the game and feel accomplished for earning things on your own. At least that's why I did it. So I'm going to go ahead and start off showing you my stats so you can see where I'm at in the game and see my level, or where I am in an Ironman level. I got the quest cape and all that, etc. So first thing that you're going to have a really hard time with on beginner Ironman is money. I don't have an issue at money at my level. My hair's soaking wet. Oh my gosh. I don't have a problem with money at this point in the game. I'm like 103 combat. My stats are viable enough. No problem with money. In the beginning, you will struggle with money till about, it just depends on each player. I struggled to about 60 combat. It was tough and a pain. Here's how you can overcome getting money as a beginner Ironman. When you first log in the game, I don't care if you're hardcore, ultimate, regular Ironman, some great ways to make money right off the bat and get yourself, tinderbox, axe, whatever you need, quick money is going to be fletching. And you're like, what? Yes, get your members right away. If you aren't a member, you can ignore this step and go to the next step. Highly recommend you get membership. Ironman just is just awesome to play with members. With non-members, if the worlds are crowded and it's a pain. Fletching. Go ahead and get your knife, get your bronze axe, start chopping down some trees, flesh them into logs, sell them to the general store. And you're like, that ain't gonna make me shit. Honey, you're gonna appreciate it because it's hard to make money as an Ironman. So go ahead and sell those unstrung bows to the general store to get yourself some cash. Sell 10 to 20 because the more you sell, the less the general store will buy it for, and hop and switch worlds and sell some more. The second thing I would recommend as a beginner Ironman, after you have a little bit of cash in your bank from fletching, that's to your discretion how long you want to do that for, or if you want to do it at all. All of this is optional, just throwing a lot out there. Stronghold security. As a hardcore Ironman, I would wait till you've leveled up a bit, but if you're a regular Ironman or ultimate, just do it. Do the 3 levels. You don't have to do the 4th unless you want the boots. Go ahead and get that free 10K. It's useful for a lot of things. I didn't do Stronghold security till later on, but I wanted to play Ironman my way and do it how I wanted to do it. Another thing you can do is the agility pyramid. Highly recommend getting about 55 agility before you go there because you don't want to have to keep falling at the agility pyramid. It's annoying. But basically, you get to the top of the pyramid, you pick up this medallion, you give it to the archaeologist or whoever the guy is, and he gives you 10K per medallion. Great money. Correct me if I'm wrong. Another thing is, I never did the agility pyramid, believe it or not. But from what I've heard, it's fantastic, and definitely do it. I was not too smart on that regard. One way that I personally made money, and this is something I did do, is I did a lot of mining and smithing. I enjoyed it. I did it at Motherlode. I got my coal bag, my gym bag, because that is so useful as an Ironman. And get it as soon as possible whenever you feel like mining. Whenever you feel like mining, go do this. Get your coal bag. It's essential. And you can smith basically iron, or I would say when you start smithing steel or iron, it can make you some great money just selling some plate bodies to the shop. I made a lot of money that way, personally, as a lower level. And as you are starting as an Ironman in the game, the next thing I want to recommend is Quest. Quests are so essential. I know it is so overwhelming and you may hate Quests. This may change your mind. So just to let you know that quests are actually really rewarding on Ironman because that XP means everything to you, okay? That reward means a lot to you. As on a main, it's not worth much at all because Ironman is tough. When I say quests, I also want to include the diaries, okay? The easy Arduin diary, I don't know how to pronounce it. You know what I'm talking about. It's that city that no one knows how the fuck to pronounce it. Arduin, whatever. Do the easy diary. It gives you unlimited teleports to the Arduin, fuck me, monastery, okay? That will get you on the other half of RuneScape within one click. And it's unlimited. Do it. It's easy. Do it, get it done. Get it done at a low level. That's going to save you so much time in walking, and therefore you don't have to get 55 magic so quickly. And magic is expensive to level as an Ironman. The next thing I'd recommend, and you can do these at any kind of time you want. This is how I feel Ironman should be. These are just some good tips and tricks, and you can do this when you feel like it. Skilling, agility. Man, I just kind of told you, agility is so important. That graceful does 30%. Less run is used. I mean, it adds up phenomenal. It looks good. You feel good. Agility is good. I know it doesn't seem that important, but it's very important. Very important. And if you have extra marks of grace, you can use them on amylase. You will need amylase later on in the game for Herbler to make stamina potions. You may not appreciate it at a low level, but you will definitely appreciate all of that at a higher level. Another thing is Herbler. Go ahead and start the Druidic Ritual quest to get your Herbler started. You want to start that ASAP as an Ironman. Herbler is so difficult to level because you have to gather all your herbs, gather all the materials. Do that immediately and start your Miscellanea. Miscellanea is a quest. Do it. When you have 750,000, 800,000, 900,000, put it into Miscellanea and do the quest Royal Trouble as well, because this will give you so many resources back for Herbler, for construction through teaks and mahoganies, and seeds and bird's nest, or even maple logs for fletching. It is so important. Do it as soon as possible. You will not regret it. It's really scary putting 800k into a coffer and being like, I'm just getting items back. But on an Ironman, it's completely worth it. And you may not believe me now, but once you do it, trust me. And that's going to be towards higher levels, around 50 or 60, 70. I recommend you do Miscellanea and Royal Trouble. Slayer. When you're a low level, you shouldn't have to worry too much about Slayer, but you want to start Slayer as soon as possible. By level 15, you should be starting your first Slayer task and doing Slayer task. And I know it's not efficient, but that's my perspective. Slayer is so important. You're going to need your Trident, which you don't get till 87 Slayer. Your Dragon Boots, you don't get that till 83 Slayer. Hell, I'm not even in there yet. You don't get shit unless you have a higher level Slayer. 85 Slayer, so important. So I really hope y'all start Slayer and you enjoy it. Also, a lot of your money comes from Slayer. Do Slayer. And your skills. Because a lot of people in Ironman are like, just knock out Slayer. Slayer gives you everything you need. It's going to be able to skill. You're going to be able to skill easier having a higher Slayer. I recommend having good overall stats. Because if you have, let's say you're 117 combat, 92 Slayer, almost max combat, and let's say you max out combat, okay? And you have shit skills. You don't want to spend the rest of your Ironman just doing skilling. That's boring. So level everything at once and enjoy the game and take your time. Last thing I want to say for Ironman is time and patience. There's so much I could explain to you for Ironman. It's off the charts. I could spend an hour explaining all of this. Like another thing I could say, do your clue scrolls. I don't think he's an Ironman at all, but do your clue scrolls. Those are a big deal too. Another thing that would help you is tempo trekking for bowstrings, for pure essence. Honestly, rune crafting is very difficult on an Ironman because you don't have many essence in the beginning. So do your Tears of Guthix to use it on your lowest level, which will probably be rune crafting, which is another quest you should do. Another thing is Wintertot. Wintertot will give you a lot of resources and money as a lower level Ironman. Go ahead and check that. I have a video on Wintertot. It's so overwhelming. Another thing you should do is crafting, and getting your crafting up as high as possible, doing the charter ships. And it's a lot to discuss, and I hope I don't overwhelm you. The best thing I can say with Ironman is do things to make money that I have mentioned, do quests, do skilling, do slayer, have time, have patience, and enjoy yourself. You're going to look newbie for a long time, but you're an Ironman, man. That shit's hard. Be proud of everything you've earned on your account. Look at your bank and smile. If you're an ultimate, I don't know what to say to you, but... and another thing as a lower level Ironman, if you want to get favor, which will help you in the long run, I highly recommend Arceus and Hosidius are the first ones you should do, because Hosidius will let you have access to the Woodcutting Guild, which will sell you rune axes. Arceus will let you cast spells on ensouled heads, and you should pick up all your ensouled heads because it will give you a lot of prayer XP. So those are the two favors I recommend. That's not something beginning Ironman really do right away, but definitely something you should look forward to doing later on. If you want an Ironman guide part 2, or for me to go into more depth and make more guides on perhaps the agility pyramid, on temple trekking, or anything like that seems a little bit confusing, just go ahead and leave it in the comments below. Also, if you really enjoy my videos, subscribe to me. I would love answering your questions. I wish I could say more about Ironman to help you, but there's so much. But I don't recommend doing this step-by-step leveling for Ironman or the step-by-step procedure for Ironman, because that doesn't make it as enjoyable, in my opinion. I think you should level it the way you want to level it, and through the methods I've mentioned, find a way to enjoy quest. I got my quest cape around 91, 93 combat, which is pretty early, but it was a great thing because I knew Jagex was coming out with more quests. And so after I finished my quest cape, 2 more quests came out, and I was able to do them very quickly. So I really hope this helped you. Join my clan chat Sarthon. You can just do join chat and type SARTHON. Would love to answer your questions. I really hope this video assisted you. My next guide, I plan on doing it on temple trekking. It's a good way to get bowstrings and pure essence for lower level Ironman. Thank you so much. I wish I could target all of this quicker, or in more precise and more depth. Have a good one, guys.